guys, this is Al from Ravage, and you're watching That Metal Interview.
That Metal Interview.
If you're into Judas Priest, a touch of Metallica, a touch of heavy metal from the 80s with a 90s touch, then today's band Ravage is right up your alley. Ravage, R-A-V-A-G-E. You can find them on Instagram, Ravage Metal. A band from Boston, Massachusetts, established around 1996. And they have a brand new album, Spider on the World, which dropped in April and is now at your reach. You guys can stream it. Check it out. So right now, let's listen to Ravage in Peace, a song from Spider on the World. Check it out. The song is called Ravage in Peace by the band Ravage from the state of Massachusetts in the US of A. From Boston to be exact. And this is a 10-song album from the band Ravage and is very highly recommended on my part. You guys can find it on Bandcamp and so on and so forth, right? Go ahead and look for them on social media and you can contact them and you can purchase vinyl and so on, right? Let's go to the interview with Al Ravage, and he'll answer the question, why Al Ravage? A very cool name, by the way. This is our interview and chat with Al. Enjoy. Where are you at? What part of the planet?
We are in Massachusetts, Boston, just north of Boston, Massachusetts. So
Boston.
East Coast.
I see you got a Hellstar patch.
Yeah, they're a cool band. Seen them a few times. Had the privilege of playing with them a couple of times. So.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yep.
James and Larry, Houston, Texas, right?
Oh yeah. Yep. I was just there about a month ago for the Hell's Heroes Festival.
Oh, you were there? Okay. How was that?
Festival. That was a lot of fun. That's probably, right now, it's probably the best underground traditional heavy metal festival in the United States.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty cool.
For sure. So, for people that don't know Ravage, for newcomers, I guess, after all these years, right?
Yep.
How did the band start? How was it formed? Boston, right? Or
yeah, we've always been from this area. Basically, it started out as an idea of mine. It was just me and a drum kit, basically. And after not being able to find a singer for the band, I ended up being the singer, but started out on drums. My brother started playing bass, and he eventually switched over to guitar and became the lead guitarist. And after a few years of different lineups, we met our second guitarist, Nick. So we've been together for probably about 25 years, the three of us. And then after that, it was kind of a revolving door of drummers and bass players until the last 5-6 years or so, when we finally solidified the group with our drummer Antonio and bass player Tommy G, who we've known for a long time. So yeah, it started out with just an idea of wanting to form a band that was traditional heavy metal, mixed with some dramatic stuff, kind of like Wasp, Iron Maiden, back in the mid-'90s when nobody was really doing that stuff. And then we just kind of kept it going, and things have evolved over the years, but that's how it started.
well, I gotta say, you got a badass voice. How did you build that voice, or how did you first know you could sing? I mean, you can't just wake up one day and sing like that. How did you build that? Classes or?
No, well, actually, when I was a kid, I sang in kind of professionally as a little kid, but after my voice changed, it took a long time to kind of get comfortable with what the new range of my voice was. And it was just a lot of experimentation. I think in the beginning, it was just, I was singing because we couldn't find a singer. But I was mostly inspired by, Bruce Dickinson and Rob Halford, and I don't think it's until recent years where I really experimented with kind of like the King Diamond falsetto stuff and trying to integrate more Rob Halford type screams and stuff. I think in the beginning we were trying to do more of a low vocals power metal type thing, more like Iced Earth. But yeah, I mean, it's just evolved over the years and just experiencing, just getting to know what your limitations are and what your strengths are, and just experimenting.
At what age did you know about your voice? Were you a teenager? Were you a small boy?
Actually, I started singing when I was a little kid, probably, I don't know, 6-7 years old. So, and was kind of like a semi-professional singer in a choir for a while when I was a little kid, and then I didn't really start singing again until I was probably in my like mid-teens, 16, 17 years old. After the voice had changed, so and at that point it was all heavy metal. So yeah, I kind of knew how to sing, but it took a long time to relearn what the kind of limitations and really what sounded good with my voice. And it's still always a work in progress. Your voice changes over the years, and you do what you can, but yeah, it's always a work in progress.
Well, it sounds badass. The work in progress is sounding badass.
Well, thanks, man.
Congrats, yeah. So, let's speak of your new album, Spider on the World. It's coming in April here soon, 19th, right? And then you guys are holding a CD release party on Bandcamp, right? On the 17th?
Yeah, we're holding an online, basically chat, and we're going to be playing the whole album from beginning to end. So if you want to check that out, just go to our website, ravagetheearth.com. Go to the Bandcamp link, which is right on the front page of it. and you can join us and you can ask questions. Check out the whole album before it comes out and pre-order it if you want.
So, is this album a continuation of the last one, you think? Or is it completely different? Or how would you describe this album?
It's a continuation of kind of the production sound, because the last album we recorded was a re-recording of our first album, which came out back in 2005. Our first album was called Spectral Rider. We recorded it on a nothing budget, and we didn't really like the way it sounded immediately when it came out, because it got remixed and it got remastered before it even came out, and we had no control over that. We were dealing with a foreign label, so we always wanted to re-record that album. So when we finally had our own kind of studio, home studio setup, we re-recorded that album back in 2016, 2017 as kind of an experiment to see what we could do. And it was always with the idea of that we were going to record this new album, which we finally got around to in the last couple of years, and that's what you see now. So the production is pretty similar to the last one. We brought in Peter Ruccio, who's worked with some, a lot of cool bands. Gives it kind of a modern production sound, very crisp, very bassy, very boomy drums. But the musicality, as far as the song structure and the it's just classic heavy metal. That's just what we do. Classic heavy metal with some thrash and some power metal and some speed metal in there.
Yeah, it's a good description. Talk to us about the writing process, Al. How do you guys arrange a song? Who gets the ball rolling? Is it your brother, or is it yourself, or somebody else, or?
Well, as far as the music goes, it's almost always been that the two guitar players, they'll come up with the bulk of the music, and they'll bring me an almost finished demo with pretty much guitars, and maybe they'll put together some fake drums on it, a drum track with MIDI and stuff, and I'll kind of structure it with the vocals, come up with a lyric for it and vocal melodies and stuff like that, and then we'll bring it to the band and we'll work on it and kind of flesh things out. But usually it's the guitarists who come up with most of the music. In this case, we do have a song, Amazon Burning, which was written by our bassist, Tommy G. I don't know if the drummer and myself will contribute any music in the future. I did have a song that I wrote way back that ended up on the last recording. But usually it's the guitarists who bring the music to the table, and then I add the lyrics. But whoever comes up with something good, we're always willing to listen to it and add little bits and pieces to what's almost usually finished. So that's the way we've done it in the past. We may go with a more collaborative thing in the future and let more kind of individual ideas or try to jam stuff out. But just the way it's worked out in the past, we've had almost finished songs and just worked on them as a band.
So how about your name, Al? Al Ravage is your stage name. How did you get that? I mean, Ravage is the name of the band, of course, but how did you end up with the name there?
It's funny. We kind of come from a punk background, because my older brother was always in punk bands back in the 90s. And you would kind of take the name of the band or a stage name. He would always call himself Trash or something, in his band. So I think we just kind of took that up with, when we were playing in that scene, because back then, we didn't have any traditional heavy metal bands around that we could play with. We would play with punk bands and ska bands and stuff. So we would kind of get called, "Oh, you're Al Ravage" or something. So I think it just kind of was picked up naturally. Of course, my brother has always gone by our real name. He's always been Eli Ferracano, which is made a little weird, but it just kind of was a thing that stuck, I guess, and I just stuck with it, and it just seemed like a heavy metal thing to do.
I noticed on Metal Archives, it says that you guys are from Germany.
Oh yeah. That's one of the funny internet things that I don't know how that got picked up. I did sing for a German band for a short time. I appeared on an album by a band called Steel Maid. So I don't know if it came from that, where people assumed I was from Germany, but yeah, we're not from Germany.
Yeah, I had to ask that question because it's on there.
Yeah, we were on a German record label, and I did sing for a German band on one album, but we're not. Yeah, we're from Boston, Massachusetts.
Boston born. Cool. So I saw the lyric video for the title track, Spider on the World. Very cool lyric video there. Who built that video?
That was all done by a friend of our drummer, Antonio, a guy down in Brazil named Alcides Byrne, who's a graphic artist. He's actually done graphics for a lot of big bands, and we're lucky enough that Antonio has a connection with him. He's his kind of childhood friend, so he does a lot of work for us, and he just put together a cool lyric video just based on we told him to incorporate some robots and spiders and outer space, and he just came up with it himself. It was pretty cool.
So how about the next gigs here, Al? When can we expect you guys? I'm in Texas. When can we expect a tour from you guys, or where can we see you guys live?
Well, we're trying to put together something for the record release. We're waiting on an opportunity to tour with this local kind of legendary band that kind of fell through. So we're just looking to play wherever we can and try to get on festivals probably for next year, next summer. Or if something comes up in the fall, we'll certainly take it. But looks like more trying to get on festivals for next year.
Very cool. You guys have done world tours. You guys have been to many, many countries, as some people might know. Which is your favorite country to play in, Al?
I guess I would say probably Germany, but really anywhere in Europe. They really treat touring bands really well. Anywhere we've ever played in Europe, we've had a place to stay, and they've given us food and sometimes even showers at the venue and stuff. So they really know how to treat touring bands over there. Which our experience touring in America was a little different. It's not the best experience the times we've played in America. Although I should say the times we played festivals in America, it's been pretty cool. So can't complain about the festivals we've had, but the kind of the club shows, not as much fun as playing in Europe.
Why is that? Are they small clubs? Are there kind of you got some bad fans, or horrible fans, or bad promoters, or?
All of the above, I guess. I think the time that we tried to tour America was not a good time to try to tour America. It was right after we got signed to Metal Blade Records back in 2009.
Nice.
And there was just not kind of any kind of appetite for traditional heavy metal at that time. It wasn't like the scene today where you've got some underground traditional heavy metal and power metal and stuff that's really around. Back then it was kind of a barren wasteland in America for this kind of music. It's still, good response for death metal and black metal and stuff, but and hardcore, but not for kind of melodic traditional heavy metal anywhere. So we tried to tour. We played in most of the states. I think something like 40 states, and it was a disaster. We played these small clubs. Sometimes the local bands didn't even show up. The support bands. It was pretty bad.
Really?
We lost a bunch of money and didn't make any money. It was tough.
It's hard out there. I understand that. Bands usually make their cash from merchandise, right?
Yeah, just trying to make some gas money. And it's kind of a different scene today too, because after the pandemic, clubs are in a tough state, so they're trying to get a cut of everything. So yeah, it's not easy out there for bands. So we would ideally like to play festivals, because that's where you get the people who really want to go to the show will travel to the festival, and the promoter usually is a little more lenient, because they're not just trying to run a club. They're putting together this festival for their fans, their festival fans, and they've usually made their money up front through the tickets, and they're not worried about gouging the bands for merchandise and stuff. So festivals are the way to go. But if we had a good touring opportunity, we'd take it. But we're just trying to get on festivals right now.
What's your favorite part of touring? When I guess The U.S. shows, as you said, they're not very cool. How about Europe? Like the Europe dates. What's your favorite part of touring here? Meeting fans, or maybe seeing other places, or what?
Well, yeah, the two things I think would be, and I should say, whether or not it's been Europe or America, I think the best part of it is meeting people who know your music and have enjoyed your music, and get something out of it, and getting that feedback from them, and people, finding people who know you in some small corner of the world. That's probably the best thing. And then close to that is getting to see new places and meet new people outside that half hour that you're actually playing, or 40 minutes, whatever it is. But yeah, it's definitely running into people who say, I got your album 10 years ago and I really liked it and I listen to it all the time. There's nothing better than that. That's what you do it for when you're a musician at this level. We're not trying to save the world. We're not trying to make $1 million. That's what we do it for.
The passion of metal and rock, right? Yeah.
That's it.
So do you still have the original members? Is it all originals, or is there a couple of different guys in there?
I guess as far as the original members, we kind of consider the three of us really to be the original members. Myself, my brother, and the guitarist Nick. Because we've been around for 25 years in the band, it's kind of like, Judas Priest has one original member, but really, Rob Halford is an original member, even though they had two singers before him. It's like, so. Yeah. I consider this to be, regardless of whether it's original members, this is the best lineup we've had. It's the most stable lineup, and we've had some great players throughout the years who've come and gone in the band, and great people, but I think this is the most cohesive the band's ever been.
How does it feel having your brother on stage with you at all the gigs? How's that bond, and do you guys fight a lot, or how does that feel?
Luckily, we're not brothers who fight very much. I think it has definitely made us closer, brought us together through the years. But just as much, I guess, our both being into heavy metal and going to concerts together has brought us together as much as being in the band, because the band is just like part of that love of heavy metal. So it's definitely brought us closer. It's cool to have a family member there, but the other guys in the band have almost become like family too. So it's pretty cool.
Very cool. Back to the album, Al. Which is your favorite track here? What's the best track for you?
It's kind of like they all have their own little charm for me. There are certain parts of the songs that I like, certain songs I like performing, more than listening to. But I would say my favorite song that I go back to is probably "Sign of the Spider." Which is the second song on there. There's a little intro before, but it's really the second song. It's just a very Iron Maiden type song. Yeah. Fun to sing and fun to listen to, and I like the guitars in it a lot. And then the first song on the album, "Man-Made Ice Age," is a little more Judas Priest. So we got like the Judas Priest song, and then we get the Iron Maiden song. Those are two of my favorites on there anyway.
You mentioned Maiden and Priest. Are those two of your influences, or what else do you listen to? I guess what's on your playlist, right?
In the last couple of years, I've been listening to mostly newer bands from what's called the new wave of traditional heavy metal, but it's bands that basically have been around for the last 10 years. So there are a lot of cool emerging heavy metal bands that are, in that vein of Iron Maiden and Judas Priest, which was not the case if you go back before 10 years ago. But just in the last 5-10 years, a lot of those bands have kind of exploded, and just there's a bunch of them out there. So it's a really cool scene to be in now, where you have a variety of these kind of traditional heavy metal bands. I would definitely recommend people check out a band like Traveler from Canada. If you like that kind kind of straightforward, traditional heavy metal with some speed metal. There's also a band Bloodstar from Utah. They're really cool. And so I've been listening to them, and then more of the underground classic bands like Hellstar. Whereas going back 20 years ago, I was listening to Iron Maiden and Judas Priest all the time. Classic bands, Wasp, Vicious Rumors, stuff like that. So now I try to get into more of the newer bands if I can.
Very cool. I saw on our Metal Archives, Iron Will. What is that? And give us an update on Iron Will.
So Iron Will is a project that basically it started about 20 years ago. I think in 2000, actually, yeah, right around 2000, we formed Iron Will. This local heavy metal singer named Tony the Metal Duke, who's kind of a local character in the local metal scene, he always wanted to have a band, and he was in a band, but his band members weren't treating him very well. So my brother and I were like, well, we could start a band. We'll start a side project where you can sing and you can come up with whatever lyrics you like, and we'll just back you. We'll come up with some music for you. And so we did this for a couple of years, and we wrote all these songs, but we never really recorded them. And we would play shows sporadically through the years, and then finally, I think around 2017, we finally recorded the album, which ended up being called Life is Your Labyrinth. Which you could find on iTunes and on Spotify and stuff. It's just very traditional, basic, straightforward heavy metal with Tony the Metal Duke singing and us backing him. So check that out. And hopefully we're working on, he's supposed to be working on some music and lyrics for a follow-up, which we'll be working on the next couple of years, hopefully.
Okay, some new Iron Will. Very cool. Well, check it out. So what's next for you, Al? What's next for the band? What's on your agenda here? What's coming up?
So right now we're just pushing this album out there. We're trying to get it out there. Spider on the World. It's coming out April 19th. Going to be streaming on all platforms. We are also pushing the limited edition double vinyl version. So that's the only physical version right now. We're talking to record labels about putting out a CD version, possibly. Or we may put out a CD version ourselves. But for now, we've got this limited edition double vinyl that we're really trying to get out there. And then basically, we're going to look into whatever show opportunities we have, probably a local show. We'll try to get some good bands together and do something big this summer as far as local stuff in the New England area. And then if we can get on a festival anywhere, we're going to do that in the next year or so, trying to promote this any way we can.
Very cool. Before we let you go, would you like to send a message to your friends and fans watching this?
Yeah, we just want to thank everybody for checking us out, supporting us through the years. Everybody who's pre-ordered the new record, Spider on the World, thank you very much. And check it out when it comes out, April 19th. Go to our website, ravagetheearth.com. Join us at the record release online party at our Bandcamp. And just go to ravagetheearth.com and check it out and let us know what you think.
Awesome. So thank you for your time, Al. Appreciate it. And people, album dropping April 19th, Spider on the World. So take it easy, man, and I appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. This is really cool. Thanks.
Support the band on social media, YouTube, and wherever you hear of Ravage playing live. They are a band to be reckoned with. Awesome heavy metal for us metalheads. And thank you, Al, for the great music, and to all the guys in the band, of course. And to all the listeners and fanatics of metal, as I am, you guys can pick up the album now. You can order it. You can stream it. It's called Spider on the World, Ravage from Boston, Massachusetts. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Don't forget to like us and follow on social media. That Metal Interview. On behalf of your friend James from the planet Earth, don't forget to keep it metal.
That Metal Interview.